This video is for entertainment and educational purposes only. Hey guys, Big Paul here today, and I am going to go through my post-show rebound theories, how I handle it, why I think some people are wrong. I know a lot of guys talk about how you need to come off, you have all this stress, you need to clear out after a show, and I think that is the absolute worst thing to do, and I am going to explain why in just 1 second. So I hear a lot of trainers and online gurus talking about coming off being the best approach after a show. Coming off gear, greatly reducing your training, reducing your cardio, eliminating stress, etc., etc. I get the theory there. Doing contest prep is a really tough thing on your body, and it is very stressful to your body, and you do need to eliminate stress. But is coming off of everything and stopping everything you're doing cold turkey really the smartest approach? I don't think so. And so here's why I say this. I think the biggest post-show mistake people make and why people end up not having the rebound. I hear guys talking about, well, I didn't have the rebound. So guys just get fat after the show. Well, I'll tell you why it happens. It's because when you stop gear cold turkey, let's think about this critically. What happens when you stop gear cold turkey? Or let's just say you go from like where I was at 2 grams total load and then just run it down to TRT, like 200 milligrams, just right out of the blue. You're going to have a hormonal crash. Especially if you're running fast esters on things, they're not going to like slowly decline out of your system. And a lot of guys run fast esters on contest prep. You're going to have a hormonal crash, and you're going to have, let's say you're blasting AIs to crush your estrogen, taking all these orals, taking DHT-based derivative orals that are going to crush your estrogen as well. If you stop all that cold turkey, you're going to have a massive estrogen rebound. Also, people talk about stopping fat burners cold turkey. Your metabolism's going to crash. You're going to have a lower net metabolic output for the day. Stopping all your cardio cold turkey, same deal. You're going to have a lower metabolic output for the day. A lot of guys after the show go on a binge eating rampage where they just eat a bunch of shitty food, eating like an asshole, like I like to say, for several weeks. They're eating donuts and cookies and posting pictures of it on Instagram, and I'm just sitting there cringing. Why are you doing that after all that hard work? And that leads to rapid fat gain and destroyed insulin sensitivity. They cut their lifting way back because they're just exhausted. So that also lowers energy output, and you have no stimulus for muscle adaptation. So you're not going to grow. So let's think about the net result of all of this. Fewer calories burned, plus binge eating, plus poor hormonal profile, plus lowered metabolism. That is going to create the perfect environment for rapid fat gain. Is that really a smarter approach? So in my opinion, our goal with the rebound should be to set us up for the off season. And more specifically, setting us up for the off season, we want to prevent a hormonal crash. We want to prevent a metabolic crash. We want to harness the post-show window for muscle gain. We want to maintain insulin sensitivity so we can go into the post-season being able to put food down. And we want to prevent rapid fat gain while reducing stress. We can do all of this at the same time if we're smart about it. So the other way, so you tell me too. So think about this. I know some people say that, coming off of everything, cutting back on your training is good for the body and reducing stress. Do you think going out and eating a dozen Dunkin' Donuts and pounding McDonald's all day long and quitting your hormones cold turkey is really good for the body too? I don't think so. you'll see the results on your physique. You'll see the results on your blood panels. I've done it before. So I think there's a better approach. To me, the way this is how I handle it. This is how I handle the post-show. To me, this is a smarter way to do it. With my anabolics, I want to taper down my anabolics rather than coming off cold turkey over a 6 to 8 week period of time, depending on how my body responds. Moving into a cruise, TRT or slightly above TRT, to set myself up for the off season. So usually what I do is immediately after the show, I'll start with about half of my prep load of anabolics. So if I was running, this hypothetically, let's say I was running 2 grams of total gear at the end of my show, I'd probably cut down to 1 gram. And then slowly taper that down over a 6 to 8 week period, going into maybe my 200 or 250 milligram TRT dose for a 6 to 8 week cruise that would follow that. So we're talking about a 12 to 16 week period before we transition into the off season. So, and we're going to eliminate the toxic compounds, orals, tren, things like that are very toxic to the body. We are going to run a test in only one mild anabolic, usually test in Primo or test in NPP. I like NPP because it fills you back out. If your joints are creaky after a show, it kind of helps with the joints. I think that's a good choice after a show. And GH, usually I run my GH about half or 2/3 of the prep dose. Just so I'm not blowing my insulin sensitivity out of the water with eating food. Estrogen management strategy. I know a lot of guys say just come off the AIs cold turkey because it's blowing up your lipids or whatever, but that estrogen rebound's horrible. You just can't do it. I don't think. So usually what I do is taper the AIs down over about a 3-week period of time, trying to get off them completely or maybe just a mild dose, and then transition to tamoxifen only. I have found that post-show window period when you're eating a ton of food and you're still going to have a little bit of a hormonal rebound anyways. So having some tamoxifen in there will prevent gyno. I think that's a ripe time to develop gyno. And then, our nutrition strategy for this period of time, usually what we do after the show, you're going to be starving. You're going to want to eat food. Everybody has a binge after the show. It just fucking happens. We're not robots. I get that you need to eat something. So the time to eat like an asshole is that 36 hours or so after a show. Go out, have a nice dinner, eat whatever the fuck you want. The Sunday after, most amateur shows are on Saturdays. So let's say hypothetically, Sunday's your free day. Just go eat whatever. Get it out of your system. Most of the time, usually what's happened to me in the past is I've eaten so much after the show, I feel so fucking sick on Sunday morning that I don't want to eat any junk anyway. So because I have a sensitive stomach, two shitty meals is enough to wreck me where I just don't want to eat shitty the next day. But whatever, just get it out of your system. I don't think, some guys have this philosophy, I'm going to restrict myself completely, but then you end up having cravings, insatiable cravings down the road. Ghrelin always wins, so just let ghrelin have a couple days to feed yourself. And then after that, Monday through Friday, back on kind of a high-calorie off-season diet with a cheat meal at the end of the day. No asshole foods at that cheat meal. No asshole foods. And what I mean by asshole foods, high fat, high sugar, low protein. Things like pizza, ice cream, donuts, etc. that have zero nutritional value when it comes to bodybuilding. They're not going to contribute to physique improvement. Go out and have a hamburger and french fries, eat some Chinese food, go have a steak and a potato. If you want to get a little dessert, have a little dessert with it. But get all that shit out of your system the week after the show. And usually, with working with Justin Harris, what he has me do is run high days. So I do 5 high days in a row. So I'm eating a shit ton of food. I'm getting all my carbohydrate cravings out with the high days, but it's low fat. And then I have a cheat meal at the end of the day. Also filling back up with insulin. The metabolism strategy, and this is another giant mistake that guys make, is coming off the fat burners cold turkey at the end of the show. What do you think is going to happen to your metabolism if you come off the fat burners cold turkey? It is going to crash. So usually what we do is full dose fat, this is how I do it. Full dose fat burners for the first week after the show, usually 5 or 6 days. While you're eating like an asshole, leave those in so you're not setting up an environment for rapid fat storage. Week 2, you half the dose of the fat burners. Week 3, you half it again. Week 4, you come back down to just normal off-season mode. Get rid of all the fat-burning agents. The same thing with the cardio. Don't come off the cardio cold turkey. Usually I just walk. I don't do any high-intensity cardio. But when the week after the show, when I'm eating a ton, 20, 30 minutes of walking on the treadmill every morning to kind of help keep myself in check. And then what ends up happening, you get 6-8 weeks in, you've regained a bunch of muscle. I've gotten my blood work done, and people aren't going to believe this. Blood work ends up being great after running this. Just as good as coming down to TRT, maybe even better. And we're transitioning down to TRT into a cruise over a 6-8 week period of time. Anyway, my blood work usually looks great. Things smooth out. You get a nice rebound. You don't have the estrogen crash. You don't have rapid fat gain like a lot of people do. And then you have set yourself up for a good off season. Your insulin sensitivity is in place. Your body composition is in a good place. And then you have some runway to push in the off season when you're ready to do your off season. If you blow things out after your show, and you go from 6% body fat up to 18 in like 6 weeks, 8 weeks, your off season's fucked. What are you going to do? You're going to have to do another cut to get ready to do an off season. And by that time, it's time to do a bodybuilding pre-contest stage again anyway. So you're fucked. You're completely fucked and you can't do anything. So this is a smarter approach. And then you transition into your off season. You do your off season and then start all over again. Next contest prep, same deal. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know in the comments section below if you think this is a smarter approach. I certainly do. I appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you for watching my channel. And thank you very much again. Take care, guys. For coaching or consultations, head over to www.anabolicbodybuilding.com to book your spot today. I can help you with optimizing hormones, fat loss, muscle gain, physique, athletic performance, nutrition, and health. For more information, shoot me an email at bigp3rd@gmail.com.